Hey guys, my name is Jason with S&J Forest Products, and I've been waiting to do this video for a long time. I am going to take this fallen tree here behind me, runs all the way back up there in the woods, and I'm going to buck it up, skid it out of here, take it up to the sawmill, and I'm hoping to make finished fir flooring out of this thing. So this is going to be a pretty epic video. I'm not sure where it's going to go, but the first step is to get this fallen tree bucked up and yard it out of here to the landing. So here's a look at this thing. This is the root wad. This thing blew over last winter and it's March now. So it's been down on the ground about a year. It's a really nice tree. It's probably one of the bigger firs I actually had on my property. It's easily 24 inches here, DBH, and then it runs way up there, gets into the limbs, and we'll have to get all those cut off. But I would have much rather had this thing as a standing tree, but it blew over and now we're gonna try and make something out of it. I'm a little concerned. I don't know if you can tell in the video. Let's see if I can get this as I pan up. There's quite a little whoop-de-doo in this butt log. And not only is it this way, but it also goes down and up, which you probably can't see. See if I can get a different angle. So unfortunately, what you want, there, can you see it now, how it kind of sweeps down and then comes back up? So that's really too bad. What you really want is a nice, straight, clear butt log trunk. And ours is nice and clear. There's not a lot of branches in there, but it's all kind of gnarled up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buck it here off the stump, and I'm gonna buck it probably up here somewhere, maybe 18, 24 feet somewhere. I've got these trees flagged that I don't want to hurt. And unfortunately, I don't know if there's a good way to get this log out of here without mangling some of these trees, but we're gonna give it a shot. But I'm gonna buck it up here somewhere, then I can choke this one and I can choke that one and hopefully lift them up off the ground with the skidder far enough that when I drag them out this way, I just brush the top of those trees and I don't mangle them too bad. I don't know how far up this goes. I haven't actually walked the tree yet, but I've got to get all these branches nipped off of there. There's another tree I kind of want to save if possible. So I got my work cut out for me, but let's first get this thing bucked off the stump back over here. See if we can get that root wad pushed down and then get this thing limbed up. So I want to make sure when I buck this thing that it doesn't do something funny and start rolling on me or doing something weird. It's sitting on the ground right here, but then all this is suspended in the air, and then back here the butt actually is suspended in the air. So I'm a little worried about it rolling that way on me, but I'm going to set up the camera so we can watch how this works. I'm going to stand on the far side, so I'm going to be real careful about it rolling on me. But I'm going to come down about a third. I'm going to bring the bar over the top, cut the back side, pull out. I'm going to just with the tip graze down through the log, punch through, take out the bottom, and then I'll take a look. I think I'm just going to come back and cut it right down through the top, and hopefully that stump flops out of the way and we get a nice clean cut and that log doesn't move too much on me. But let's see what happens here. Well, that went good. My chain was a little bit dull, but got through her there. I'm always just fascinated to look at the rings on these things after I buck them, because they tell the whole story of the tree. And this is pretty interesting. Right in here, it was growing very, very slowly. I mean, the rings are so tight. So it tells me it was growing suppressed in the understory, just doing everything it could to get up and get to the light. And then right here, this year, something happened. Either the tree in front of it blew down, or more than likely what happened is the area around it got logged. And it got light and a bunch of water and nutrients. It wasn't competing with other trees, and it just exploded in growth and started growing way, way, way faster. And so it's always fun to look at the trees after you cut them down. I mean, look over here, it started just blowing out the wood. And interestingly enough, when you look at the stump here, right here, I'm assuming that it was logged, but there's some damage right at the ring where it started taking off. And I bet the tree was skinned or something happened to it when they logged it, and there's a little pocket of sap right there. But then as soon as that happened, it just started growing like crazy. Well, I counted and I was blown away actually, so I'm gonna get it on video here. From the center of the tree to here was about 150 years. So you had a Doug fir that had a DBH of about 8 inches in the small dimension here, that was 150 years old. And then I'm assuming it got logged, and then it started growing like crazy. And out here it's about 225 years old. This tree is about 225 years old, which is about as, it's coming up on the age of the country here. But the 75 years ago, which is about right, in 1950 or so, it was logged, which makes sense. And then before then, it was, who knows, a fire or something, and regrew the forest, and this thing was growing in this just super suppressed, tight, fighting for its life until it was released. So pretty interesting story here. But this is by far the oldest tree I found on my property. Most of my other trees are somewhere around 120 years old that have blown over and I've counted the rings on. So this tree started life in about 1800. Crazy. Maybe looking back at it, you can get that, look at that little whoop-de-doo down the butt log. But we're up here about 50, 60 feet up the trunk. Whoa. And I want to show you, I've got a couple of A1 cat faces there. Those are called cat faces. There's one, there's another one. Something damaged that tree years ago and it's trying to grow around it, but it's going to be a big defect in the log when we go to cut it in the sawmill. And I've got 2 of them. And then up here, that's 66 feet. And then I have another 25-foot log. So what's that? 66, 76, 86, about 90 foot to here where I bucked it because the top got so small I couldn't use any more. And then there's easily another 10 or 15 feet. So it was over 100 feet tall. But now I got to get it bucked into 3 logs and get it skidded out of here. That's the next chore. So I'm going to buck it right here. And the log's suspended on both sides. So I'm going to do just like I did with the stump. I'm going to come down, come out on the far side, come through, punch through the bottom, and then I'm going to come up. I'm going to watch that kerf. If that kerf starts to close, I'm going to keep coming. If it starts to open up, I'm going to pull my bar out and cut down from the top, and that way I won't get my bar pinched. Best laid plans. Well, that was a little embarrassing, but I got her. I just wiggled the saw a little bit and that thing dropped right off. I was trying to be slick and come right up in the same curve. A lot of times, to avoid getting your bar pinched, you can come one way or the other about 1/2 inch and come up the side, and then you're in a different curve that's closing or opening, and you can avoid that. But I was watching it. The kerf wasn't closing, and then right at the end, just boop, pinched me a little bit, right at the last little bit of holding wood. That's fine, we got it. Here's that suppressed growth here. And so that tree, we're at 33 feet now, and that tree did not get very tall while it's suppressed. But then once it got opened up, man, it started growing like crazy. That's pretty cool. Let's see if we can see on the next spot we buck how if we got any suppressed growth at 66 feet. That is a big turn. But I wanted to show you, here's those two cat faces. This is the tree at 66 feet, and there's no suppressed growth there. So at 66 feet, I counted these rings. There's 60 rings. And if that tree is 225 years old, the tree was 165 when it was 66 feet tall. Can you believe it? That's less than 6 inches of growth per year for this tree to get 66 feet tall. And then sometime just 15 years before this, it got logged or whatever and started growing much faster. And then this is kind of cool too. Right here, this dark ring, all the way around to about here, is that cat face. See, there's the cat face there, cat face there. It came all the way up the tree. Here's a bunch of gnarled up bark. So a tree must have come down and skinned this thing and really screwed it all up. It's healed here. It hasn't quite healed up down the tree a little bit, but it's screwed up the growth on this side, but the rings here are all nice and uniform all the way out. So interesting story. We managed to pull that thing out without disturbing that tree. Here's that nice Doug that I wanted to save. Another Doug, a little spruce. So we got it out without too much damage.